it's me, it's Johnny Boy. We're back in the garden. A bit late today, but we'll be okay. Look, we're working out from the porcelain area, and you can just see where I've got the inspection tray. We've got a little cut to go in there, one little cut to go over there, and then we'll finish over there. We started to do the steps. I can't work on those today, okay, because they were only just laid yesterday, and we got to start coming out, get the gate back on. And I think those blue engineering, those Staffordshire blues, they're going to have to go. But in the meantime, we're going to be working on this area of the garden. And the reason we're going to work on this area of the garden, because we have to make sure that this is in sync with that area there. So what we want, in theory, we want the decking area. Okay, the decking is what is it, Jack? 125mm width, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we want that distance above ground level. So what, putting decking at levels in the ground with it's not me anyway. So we're going to go back 6 inches, 5 inches higher than the lawned area. So what we're going to be doing, you're going to run a pin from that side with a string line over to here, and that will give us our height of our decking. And then what we're going to be doing over on that side, we're going to have an aero cladding wall, but in between the wall and the decking we're going to have a little planter. Okay, so it's not just wall to wall paving, decking or whatever. We'll have a little bit of plant, and we'll put things like grasses like Hacker Canoa in it, or some Miscanthus sinensis, something that's going to soften that area up and give you a contrast with the cladding. Right, let's get on with it. Come and have a look. Come and have a look. Okay. Okay. Here we are. We're putting a decking system in place. It's going to be a 3x3. We're using 6" by 2" stud work on here. Tannalized, graded timber. All right. You need to do that because you know it's going to last. If you come over here, Jack, and just look along here for our viewers, just come along here and scroll all the way down. All the way down. That's it. Right, so now Jack showed you that. So what we've done in this case, because we may be putting the timber on here, the aero decking board, we may be putting that in a diagonal format. So what we've done, we've gone 400 centers. So where's the tape? Here we go. So if you look at this now, we've got 400 centers, but you're going to say, well, the pencil marks don't represent where the centers are. But what we've done, you can either go 400 centers or outside edge to outside edge. Put your mark, and then we put the cross to illustrate where the timber is going to be, so on and so on. So 400, 800, 1.2, 1.6, 2 meters, 2.4, and then 2.8 accordingly. So what we're going to do here, if you step over here, John, I'll just explain to our viewers now. So you just sit down over here. I'm going to have a coffee in a minute. So what we're doing here now is, at the end of the garage, there is going to be a cladding, a wall cladding in the aero charcoal, the charcoal colour we're going to be using, and that's going to go there. And this will be like a little snook, like a little area they can come and sit. It's going to be a windbreak as well, and it'll just look attractive. It'll be a good contrast to the brickwork, okay? But what we want to be able to do, we don't want wall-to-wall decking, we don't want wall-to-wall paving. We need to break it up, and we're going to break it up with a planting pocket. And because there's a difference in the ground level, which adds a little bit more interest to what we're going to be doing, we're going to be using this timeless sleeper in this situation. We're going to bed it in on concrete, and this little pocket here is going to become a little planting pocket, and we're going to fill it with grasses, as I said earlier. One of the things that I want to sort of point out to you is that when you're using screws, all this steel, whatever it's made of, alloys, whatever, right, they'll all have a shear strength. You'll see that guys that do timber frame will always use like nail guns generally, and use hammer and nails, you know, galv nails, and those ring shanks as well, so to stop it pulling out. But what I prefer to do on this occasion, I use the screws, because sometimes I change my mind about things. I want to be able to unscrew it and change things and so forth. And but what you've got to watch is sometimes if you have a lot of weight applying onto these timbers, these will just snap. Okay, these will just snap. But remember, we're going to be bedding this on a concrete padstone, so it won't be going anywhere at all. All right, we won't have to worry about that. We could put some nails on here instead of using the screws, but the screws in this case is just going to allow us just to bed in and hold in position initially, because what's going to be taking the weight of this timeless sleeper is the stud work frame of the decking system, because we're not going to bring that right up to the top. This is going to retain it as well. That's going to hold that. Those screws are just going to hold it in place just initially. We've got a concrete behind there already. Was it, Jack? 4 inches, 5 inches, maybe 6 inches deep. That's just going to. That's not going to go anywhere at all, you know, because it just can't sink down in the ground. The concrete's just going to allow it just to bed on, and then we're going to be able to get a level across it and just check that. Well, that's about it now. I'm going to have my coffee now, and I hope you're enjoying it so far. More to come. Well, here we are. Jack's putting in some stepping stones here, and he's got a 300mm gap between each slab and the patio there. That's for the grass to come through, and you can see he ain't going to hit that slab now. He ain't going to chip it, but he's doing a semi-dry mix, and he's going to add a little bit more sand on there now. But what he's doing as well, he's slurrying the back of each slab. The thing is about a screed mix like this, a semi-dry, is that what you're going to have is that the less water that you put in any mortar or concrete, the less water, the stronger the product becomes. And if it's done right, it works. You won't. That's why you've got to use the slurry mix on the back of the slab, simply because it's going to adhere to the mortar. So when this is almost like the same way as they make block paving, it's compacted, and that'll be tapped down. We'll put the slab on there first, get the correct level, and then fluff it up again. And then what we'll do, put the slurry on the slab, and then we'll tap it down, and they ain't going anywhere. As long as you make sure that you push the mortar in all the way around, that slab won't go nowhere at all. Just another way, another method. Well, there we go. We've started doing the stud work for the decking. Got the raised bed in position, and that decking system is going to coincide with this patio. And you can see we started to get the stepping stones in as well. Let me just show you from this angle. You can see how that leads down to the garden gate. So we'll have grass on this side where the bell mixer stand is, running through, pouring through in between those slabs like the stepping stone, and coming over on this side, and you'll get better integration then between the two areas, as opposed to having a solid path going all the way down. So it's looking good. We're starting to make some progress now, bit by bit. I'm not worried about the turfing. The turfing is going to run right the way around here. That's not a problem at all. As long as we have some dry weather, then we'll be okay. I'll get the digger back in here. I'll turn that soil over, loosen it all up because it's been compacted. But we are heading in the right direction, slowly. But as long as it's positive, that's the main thing.